I love the superhero genre. I can remember being a kid and renting all the Batman and Spider-Man movies with my parents, and then going to have a Power Rangers marathon. And yes, I do consider Power Rangers to be superheroes. Fight me. Also, Space Rangers is the best. Don't at me. And what's so great about this genre is that there are a wide variety of mediums to enjoy. From comics to movies to live action, anime, and even books, there's a little bit of everything out there for those who want to experience the worlds of secret identities and capes. There is, however, one series in particular that goes overlooked despite its relative popularity in some small online spaces. The Parahumans Web Serials, referred to as the Parahumans Verse or Parahumans Universe, is a free-to-read original series written by John C. McCrae, aka wildbow, hosted on WordPress.com. The first book, Worm, ran from 2011 to 2013, with the sequel being Ward, also known as Parahumans 2, running from 2017 to 2020. Worm focuses on a young bully teenager on her first night out as a superhero, only for a domino effect to occur when she's mistaken for a supervillain that same night. War takes place 2 years after the events of Worm, following an older superhero forced out of retirement when she's caught in the middle of a massive supervillain scheme. There is an interquel called Glowworm, though most consider it part of Worm's ending or Ward's real beginning, depending on how you view the tone. There are also various semi-canon Parahumans quests, online board games, and subreddit games that add more lore and expand the universe that you can explore, though not nearly as comprehensive as the primary books. It's still enjoyable. The Parahumans verse is lauded for its power system and unique power expressions, in large part because the power system plays heavily into the psychology of the characters, and allows for expansive power generation in the fan community. I have a particular soft spot for a little side character that summons force fields that, when popped, spawn a tidal wave of plush toys to spawn their enemies, just because of how unique the psychology of that character must have been for that power to take effect. Equally praised is this wide variety of memorable, lovable, and lovingly hated characters in the setting, with gut-wrenching and heartwarming interactions that will make you invested in the best and worst people imaginable. There will be times where you have to take a break because you can't stand what is happening to your particularly favorite character, or you're trapped in an endless rush of chapters, really captivated by what happens next and desperate for the next bit of dopamine. Often when discussing the Parahumans universe, some will say it's a grim deconstruction of the superhero genre, but I would disagree. A deconstruction is more about taking apart a genre and pointing out its flaws, about how silly or contrived things must be for the genre to occur. Think more about how The Boys pretty much mocks the idea of superheroics as a concept to satire of a genre, and real-world issues at the same time. Meanwhile, a reconstruction is more about taking a genre and thinking about how to make plot contrivances or plot holes work in the original setting. Why don't super geniuses spread all their technology? Why does the government tolerate certain independent hero groups over others? Let's make an explanation for these questions as part of the world building. That's typically how the Parahumans verse and Invincible operate in their settings. Speaking of The Boys, more often than not, you've heard of Worm and Ward. You've likely seen this comparison come up once or twice, though I'd argue the Parahumans verse falls closer to the Invincible category of superhero genre, as I mentioned before. While all three series are darker and more mature than most mainstream Marvel, DC, and some anime and manga counterparts, The Boys is very clearly a comedy and satire first and foremost. TV show it is, we don't talk about the comics. While Invincible and Parahumans verse take their settings very seriously in tone, even when they do have comedic moments and satirical aspects, that doesn't mean that it's one or the other. They very much work in tandem with highlighting the setting and scene it's taking place in. Speaking of tone, it must be acknowledged that Worm and Ward have very different protagonists with different lenses to the world around them, and how they handle the hurdles in the character growth. While I highly recommend reading Worm before Ward, there have been a notable number of people who have read Ward before Worm, and enjoy the mystery of the setting that they get to uncover in Worm. If that style of reading floats your boat, more power to you, and let me know how it goes. I'm curious to see how you feel about the setting as a whole when it's all these mysteries. A side note though, both books are very mature and have a lot of content warnings. Sexual assault, racism, abuse, violence of all sorts, torture, gore, and much more to be expected. For community engagement, there's various fan communities, primarily on the Parahumans subreddit, are Parahumans, the Parahumans Tumblr tag, the Space Battles and Sufficient Velocity community, and apparently a Parahumans TikTok group, which I'm not a part of, but hey, more power to them. While the Parahumans verse has not had any large-scale updates in the past 4 years, wildbow has a plethora of other books that you can enjoy, which I will do videos on at later dates. For now, I'll be doing lore videos, who would win videos, and just chatting streams when I can. If you have any topics, let me know and I'll see what I can do. Maybe we can do some fun community events if I can. Links to Worm, Ward, and Wildbow's Patreon will be in the links in the description below. Give him a lot of support, he needs it. Various community links in the description below will be there as well, and if you'd like to commission any art from me or just show any support, my Ko-fi will be also in the link below. Thank you for watching and hope to see you next time. Enjoy the books!